Hello and welcome to the topic of 2D array for the subject of Introduction to Programming using C. Now on the screen you can see int a33. So it can be defined as an array of arrays. The total number of elements which are stored inside the array A is 3 into 3, which is equal to 9. So we can say the data in 2D array appears to be stored in a tabular form and can be represented by rows and columns. And also that the total elements stored in the array can be obtained by multiplying the size of all the dimensions, that is 3 cross 3. Now if we see an example of 2D array on the screen, it says the data which has been stored is 11, 21, 31, 42, 52, 62, 73, 83 and 93. So basic examples or the application of 2D arrays comes in the case of solving of matrix based questions. Now if you see at the screen, 11, 21, 31, 42, 52, 62, 73, 83, 93 are datas. And these datas are stored at relevant position in the 2D arrays. For example, at the 2D arrays position A00, 11 is stored, at A01, 21 is stored, at A02, 31 is stored, at A10, 42 is stored, and so on. So now it has been understood that in order to declare a 2D array, you have to create two dimensions. 2D array is a part of multi-dimensional arrays. Int A is the name of the array, A is the name of the array, and int is the data type. And the dimensions 3, 3 states that total there are 9 elements which can be stored in a 2D array. Let's see more detailed into the 2D array. Now on the screen you can see that every data which is called 11, 21, 31, 42, 52, 62 has been stored at a specific position in the 2D array. Now, since there are two dimensions, now let's take example of data 21. Now 21 has been stored at position 01. Position 0 stands for the row and position 1 stands for the column for the case of data 21. Now 0 has been represented by I and 1 has been represented by j. So if you observe very carefully, for the data 11, 21 and 31 which is said to be stored at the first row, the value of I remains same but the value of j varies. Now if we see for the data 42, 52 and 62, the value of I is 1 but the value of j is varying. So in this diagram it can be shown that the value of I represents the row number and value of j represents the element which represents the position of element which has been stored at a specific row. Now if we see vertically, we can see 11, 42 and 73. 11, 42 and 73 are stored at different rows but they are stored at same column. So the value of j will be same for 11, 42 and 73 but value of I will vary. Now let's see how this representation or where A00, A10, A20, A01 is stored by using program. In order to access or in order to scanf or printf a 2D array, we require two for loops. For our example which we have discussed, the for loop requires to run till position 2. So therefore two for loops are applied. The outer for loop which is run by loop variable I will represent rows and the inner for loop which has been run by loop variable j will represent columns. Now this is a basic program which enters and displays 2D array in the memory in the void main. So if we see by the highlighted red section, an array 4 by 4 is declared in the memory. The name of the array is A. total elements are 4 into 4, 16. Now the first loop, which has been highlighted by yellow, it says that 2 for loops are required, one for rows and other for columns. And if you see the green scanf statement, the elements of arrays are represented by A, I, J. Now same for loop, same set of for loop is applied to display the 2D array, which has been represented in the green section by printf aij. So in order to represent elements of a 2D array, we have to write aij, where I is the external loop and j is the internal loop. The I represents the rows and j represents the columns. Now based on the loop which we have seen earlier, it simply says that value of I will start from 0 and it will go till 2. Let's see the example again. Based on the example of the set of loops, it simply says that value of I will start from 0 and it will go till 2. Similarly, the value of j will start from 0 and it will go till 2. Now let's see these loops working in detail. Now if we see at the first row, it simply says that value of I will vary from 0. When value of I is 0, the value of j will vary from 0, 1 and 2. When value of I is 1, the value of j will again vary from 0, 1 and 2. When value of I is 2, the value of j will again vary from 0, 1 and 2. When value of j is 0 and I is 0, element A00 will be processed. When value of I is 0 and value of j is 1, element A01 will be processed. When value of j is 2 and value of I is 0, element A02 will be processed. Similarly, for the row where I is equal to 1 and for row where I is equal to 2, the data or the array elements will be processed. Now comes another example. This example is same as that of the previous example, but if you observe very carefully the loops are now not running till value of I less than 3 or value of j less than 3. They are running till n, where the value of n is asked from the user. Rest the program is same that we have studied earlier. Now, this section displays how to pass a 2D array to a function. It can be seen by the arrows. It says that in the void main section, a display full function is called, where the name of the array, which is ARR, is written and n is written. If you see the void main section, it says ARR is a 2D array which is of 10 by 10. This means it can store total 100 elements, and n is the size or the length of the array. Now, display full function says that I will receive the array in A and n in len. Now, one important thing for passing multi-dimensional array is that first dimension does not have to be specified, and the second or subsequent dimensions must be given. Let's see here. Now here specifying the second dimension is important because the compiler needs to calculate the size of the item which is pointed by the array A here. Now if it is absent, then it would be impossible to find out when an row of a 2D array gets over, and it will be impossible for the compiler to find this out. So that is why the second dimension in this case has to be provided by the 2D array when calling is take place. Now let's see an example of matrix in which a specific row has been asked to be displayed. Now it says that display last row of the matrix. Based on the screen, it says 73, 83 and 93 is the last row of the matrix, and based on the table shown, it says 73 is stored at 20, 83 is stored at 21 and 93 is stored at 22 in the two-dimensional array. Now, based on the earlier discussion, let's look at the table. Now we see that 73 is stored at 20, 83 is stored at 21 and 93 is stored at 22. The value of I and value of j are mentioned on the screen based on the location where 73, 83 and 93 is stored. If you observe very carefully, the value of j is varying from 0 to 1 to 2. This means for value of j, you have to put up a loop. But if you see the value of I, it is not changing, it is 2. Can I write 2 as 3 minus 1? Can I write 3 as len? Because if we are discussing for the case of a 3 cross 3 matrix, let's see the example again. Based on the example, you can see that it is a 3 cross 3 matrix and value of len is 3 for such. Now, based on the table which is shown on the screen, we can see that value of I is set to len minus 1. Please see the highlighted section. And for j, a loop is required. Please see the highlighted section. The value of j is varying from 0 to less than 3, 0 to less than 3 or 0 to less than length, because the value of length has been set for 3, because the example which we were discussing is for a 3 cross 3 matrix. But yes, this example, this program code will run for a matrix whose size is greater than 3 by 3. In order to explain you, the value of len is considered to be 3. Now let's see another example. The program to enter and display the last column of a matrix. If you see 3 by 3 matrix, the last column is 31, 62 and 93. If you see the highlighted section of the table, 31 is stored at 0, 2, 62 is stored at 1, 2, 93 is stored at 2, 2. Now, if you see the table, it says the value of I for 31 is 0 and value of j for 31 is 2. Because 31, 62 and 93 are stored at specific positions which we have seen in the earlier figure. Now based on this, the value of I is varying from 0 to 1 to 2. Therefore, a loop is required to be put for value of I, and if you see the value of j is not changing, the value of j is 2 for last column of the matrix. So value of j is equal to 2 means 3 minus 1 and replacing 3 by length, because we are taking an example of a 3 by 3 matrix. Now if we see the program section, you can see in the highlighted section it says that set the value of j as length minus 1. Yes, we have shown it in the table. Now you have to use the loop for I. Yes, we have shown it in the table why a loop has been used, and in the printf statement the data is being displayed. So by this the last column will be displayed. Now the next program says to display the middle row of a matrix if there are odd number of rows. If you see now that for a 3 by 3 matrix there are 3 rows. 3 rows means the number of rows are odd. In order to display the middle row, the central row is the middle row, 42, 52 and 62, and you can see in the table 42 is stored at A10, 52 is stored at A11 and 62 is stored at A12 for our example of a 3 by 3 matrix. Now if you see the table, in the table position of 42 is A10, 52 is 1, 1, 62 is 1, 2. The value of j is varying, therefore we will be put a loop for j, but value of I is 1. Can we write 1 as 3 by 2? If I consider the integer part only, so 3 by 2 means 1 if I am not considering the fractional part, and by instead of writing 3 by 2 we can also write length by 2 because len is 3 for our case. Now if we see the program part, mid is equal to len by 2. Here mid is declared in integer, I is equal to mid, and a for loop has been used for j because the value of j was varying from 0 to 2, and in the printf statement the array or the 2D array has been displayed. Because of using of this logic, a middle row will be displayed. Now let's consider another case. Suppose there are even number of rows in the matrix. If we see the current example on the screen, the matrix is of 6 by 6. This means the value of len is 6, and if we observe very carefully, the value of I is 0 for first row, 1 for second row, 2 for third row, 3 for fourth row, 4 for fifth row, and 5 for sixth row. Now, in order to display the middle row, as there are total number there are even rows in the matrix, this means that there will be 2 middle rows in the matrix. Now the 2 middle rows are row with value of I as 2 and row with value of I as 3. As we know that if we are displaying rows, a loop is required for j, and value of I has to be set constant or non-varying. Now value of I is 2 for row which is having data 33, 99, 98, 21, 32. 2 can be written as 6 by 2 minus 1. Now 6 can be converted to length, and 6 by 2, the result of 6 by 2 will be stored in an integer variable, therefore the fractional part will be removed automatically. Now for row 3, row with I is equal to 3, which means 44, 23, 56, 54, 25, 78 is the data. Now for I is equal to 3, we can write 6 by 2, or we can write length by 2 by replacing 6 with len. Now if we see the program, the function says that declare a variable mid, declare it in integer category. Set mid is equal to length by 2, we have seen. Now I is equal to mid minus 1, we have seen it. Put a loop for j. Now I is equal to mid, again put a loop for j. When I is equal to mid minus 1, this means I is equal to 2. When I is equal to mid, this means I is equal to 3, because for a matrix having even number of rows, 2 middle rows comes, and based on this diagram, the row with value I is equal to 2, which means len by 2 minus 1, and the row for I is equal to 3, which means len by 2, 2 rows will be taken out from the matrix to be displayed. Now this finishes our session for today. Thank you for being part of this session.